Every story has a secret. Some should have stayed buried. The truth hides in the dark, and once you hear it, you can't unhear it. This is Midnight Hour Files, hosted by Dee Dee. Welcome to the Midnight Hour.
Welcome back to Midnight Files. I'm your host, Dee Dee. Before we begin, please like and subscribe to my channel. A 9-year-old girl leaves her home in the middle of the night and disappears without a trace. This is the case of Asha Degree. If you're into real, unsettling, true crime stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check the link in my bio to support. Asha Degree was just 9 years old, living with her family in Shelby, North Carolina. It was the kind of neighborhood where things felt safe. Her parents were protective, her routine was structured, and by all accounts, Asha was a quiet, responsible child. There were no warning signs, no history of running away, no known issues at home. The night before she disappeared was completely normal. February 13th, 2000. Asha spent the evening with her family. They had dinner, watched TV, and got ready for bed. Nothing seemed out of place. Sometime during the night, a storm rolled in. The power went out briefly, something her father later recalled checking on.
30 in the morning, he checked on his children. Both Asha and her brother were in bed, asleep.
Everything seemed fine. But sometime between then and sunrise, Asha was gone. When her mother woke up early the next morning to get the kids ready for school, Asha wasn't in her bed. At first, it didn't seem real. Maybe she was somewhere else in the house. But after checking every room, panic set in. The doors were still locked. There were no signs of forced entry. There was no evidence that anyone had come in, which left investigators with one unsettling possibility. Asha may have left on her own. Police were called immediately and a search began. Neighbors, volunteers, and law enforcement spread out across the area, searching nearby roads, fields, and wooded areas. And then, witnesses came forward. Multiple drivers reported seeing a young girl walking along Highway 18 in the early morning hours. It was still dark outside. The weather was bad, cold, rainy, and windy. One truck driver said he saw a small figure walking alone along the roadside. Another driver turned around because he was concerned for her safety. But when he approached her, she ran straight into the woods and vanished. If that girl was Asha, it meant she had walked out of her home, alone, into the darkness. At 9 years old, investigators were left trying to answer one question. Why? Why would a child with no history of running away leave her home in the middle of the night? There were no signs of abuse, no reported arguments, nothing that pointed to a reason. But then, the case took another turn. During the search, items believed to belong to Asha were discovered inside a nearby shed along Highway 18. Candy wrappers, a pencil, small personal items. It suggested she may have stopped there at some point that night. Maybe to get out of the rain. Maybe to hide. But after that, the trail disappeared. Despite extensive searches, no sign of Asha herself was ever found. Days passed, then weeks, then months. The case went cold. Until over a year later. Construction workers were digging along a highway about 26 miles away when they made a discovery that would change the entire case. Buried in the ground, wrapped in plastic, was a backpack. That backpack was identified as belonging to Asha Degree. Inside were personal items that confirmed it. The fact that it had been buried raised serious questions. This wasn't something that happened by accident. Someone had taken that backpack and hidden it. That meant someone else had been involved. From that point on, the case shifted. This was no longer just a missing child. It was a likely abduction. Investigators began exploring the possibility that Asha had been lured out of her home. Over the years, leads came in, tips were investigated, the FBI became involved. There were reports of a green car seen in the area around the time she disappeared. Authorities have suggested that Asha may have gotten into a vehicle, but no one has ever been identified. No one has ever been charged. And more than 2 decades later, Asha Degree has never been found. What makes this case so haunting is how unusual it is. Children her age do not typically leave their homes in the middle of the night, especially in the middle of a storm. And yet, multiple witnesses place her on that road, walking alone, until she wasn't. There are theories. Some believe she was lured by someone she trusted. Others think she may have been trying to meet someone. But there has never been enough evidence to confirm any of it. And that's what makes this case so unsettling. There are just enough clues to suggest something happened, but not enough to explain what. Her family has never stopped searching for answers. Every year, her case is revisited. New tips are followed up on, new technologies are applied. But the truth remains unknown. Somewhere out there, someone knows what happened to Asha Degree. And until that truth comes out, this case remains open. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check the link in my bio to support. And if you have any thoughts or theories about this case, share them in the comments. Because sometimes, the smallest detail can make the biggest difference. Until next time, stay aware.
Some truths never rest, and some stories are never over. This has been Midnight Hour Files. Sleep carefully.